Alright, one thing before I start the video. If you guys don't want to, watch this, I guess, you can just go through the tutorial. You'll be kind of fine. It won't really, the tutorial's not that in-depth, but, you should be okay-ish. But, I'm gonna give you the time intervals for what happens in this, video. The basics of the game, what I explained to you what the game is, 35 seconds. Power-ups start at 2 minutes 35 seconds. 25, sorry. Walls, what they do starts at 13 minutes and 35 seconds. All the classes start at 50 minutes and 20 seconds. The class modifiers start at 29 seconds, 29 minutes, 25 seconds. The map starts at 51 minutes. The customize starts at 53 minutes, 30 seconds. In What happens in game starts at 56 minutes and 5 seconds. I hope you guys learn from this video. I hope it helps you out. Alright, peace. Alright, what's up, guys? In this video, I'm just gonna show you guys really what LaserLeague is, because it just came out for free for PS Plus, so, there's not really many guides on YouTube, and, I just thought I'd make one, so people get the basics of the game. So pretty much, what LaserLeague is a team-based game with classes. It's it's 3v3 and 2v2, and your objective is to get nodes and kill the enemy team. How the nodes work are you'll run over the node, and then after that, there are two colors always, your team and the enemy team. After you run over the node, it turns to your color. Or if an enemy runs over the node before you, then it turns to their color. You can't steal it, though, once someone else does it, unless you have an ability. So, pretty much, once you run over that node, it's your color. If the enemy runs into that, then they will be killed. Unless they have invulnerability, they will be killed by the node. And you can be revived by your teammate. All they have to do is walk over you they just have to walk over you. They just have to touch you. They don't have to stand over you for like 3 seconds. They just walk over you, and then that's it. Then you're back after like a second of reviving, but you can't die during that second of reviving. And then after that, you're back alive, and that's pretty much it. In this game, there are power-ups, and I'm about to show you what they all do. So, the first one is revive. All it does is revive eliminated teammates no matter where they are. So you don't have to walk over them like you usually would. You just have to walk over them. And you don't have to worry about remembering all of the symbols and to what they do. You don't have to remember that heart is revive, because when a power-up comes into the arena, you'll hear the announcer, they'll say revive, and then you'll see it pop up, and you'll see revive. So then you'll know that it's revive. You'll know what it does. You know it'll revive your teammates. So if you have like a teammate down that you can't get to because there's a bunch of enemies in front of them or a bunch of nodes, then you can get the revive since it's there. But they're all based on luck. What ones you'll get, when they'll happen. It's not you'll get revive, then reverse, and switch. That's not how it works. And then we got reverse. And all reverse does is reverse the movement of the lasers. Because these lasers, the nodes, they'll move around, a lot of them. Some of them will be stationary. Some of them will go back and forth. Some of them will spin around. Some of them will just move left to right. And when you press reverse, or when you get the power-up reverse, every laser, yours or not, enemies or not, it doesn't matter, you will be able, all of them will start going the opposite way of what they were going, unless they're a still movement one. then that won't matter because they'll just stay in the same place. And then we got switch. And what switch does, as you can see in the background, I'll just play all of these so you guys can see a visual on the right. What switch does is it changes all the colors of the nodes, the lasers. So if you're down a bunch of colors, the enemy has a ton of lasers, a bunch of nodes, and you only have like one or two, like in this one. Then as soon as you get on the reverse, then what it will do is it will reverse all the colors. So since this dude's pink, got on the switch, and then now all the greens turn to his color pink. Divide. Divide's kind of a weird one, honestly, in my opinion. What it does is it creates like holes in the lasers. So you can like get through the lasers and stuff, but it does it for all lasers, not just your enemy's lasers. So I think this one's kind of weird because, you know, it's not like revive where you'll probably need it most of the time, especially when the teammate's down. There's like a specific theme for it. Divide, you'll usually just use it as soon as you see it because, I mean, there's not really too much of a specific use for it. Unlike this one, which this one's just complete luck considering if you actually had that. And then speed up. All that speed up does is increase the movement of the nodes. If they're spinning, they'll spin faster. If they're moving, they'll move faster. That's pretty much it. There's nothing really special to it. You'll probably use it when you have more lasers and your enemy doesn't have a ton of lasers, because you wouldn't really want to use it when, you know, the enemy has more nodes than you, because then that would just create trouble for yourself, because now you have to dodge faster moving nodes. And then you got steal, which steal is for sure one of the best power-ups in the game. As soon as you tap it, every color of the enemies, every node they have, turns to yours. It turns to your node. So that's one of the best, because if you're low on nodes, then bam, now the enemy, all the nodes that they had are now yours. And they could be right next to nodes. This has happened. I've seen this happen to people. It's happened to me a ton. I've been on one of my colors because I know that I won't die from it. So I've been on one of my colors, and I'll just be walking through it, and then they steal, and then I'll die or I'll be cut off from something. So steal is really good because you can kill enemies with it. You can catch them off guard, or you can trap them. And then we have reset. Well, with steal, just one more thing. You should use it even if you have more nodes than them, because you don't want them getting it if you have more nodes, because then that means that those nodes are going to turn to theirs. But now we got reset. All it does is deactivate all lasers, your color and enemy's color. It deactivates them all. And what pretty much that's all it does really. It just deactivates them all, and then the nodes are still there, so you can still pick them back up most of the time, but sometimes they'll disappear after they deactivate or reset. So it's good for if you're in like trouble with a bunch of nodes from the enemy, and then you can just reset and then take them all away. But they do take away yours too, so you should think about that. So then we got power, which it activates all the nodes in your color. The nodes are the little white things. The lasers are what happens when you touch the node. So it won't be it's not like steel. It won't take the nodes from your enemy. But every node that is not activated will be activated into your color. So it's really good when there's a bunch of nodes that are still on the screen and not activated yet, and then bam, you have a ton now. Then we got pause. Pause stops all the lasers. It stops everything. It just stops them all. You can still die to them, so don't run into them, but it stops all the lasers. As you can see on the right, it's used to trap someone in that little space. You could use that to kill them, because there's some classes that can kill people. So you could use it to trap them and then kill them or push them, or you could just use it to keep them in a little space. So it pauses pretty good. And then you got shield, which it makes your entire team invulnerable. You cannot take damage, you cannot die, you can't be hit by abilities, nothing can happen to you. And it's your whole team. Of course, it's only for a short time. It's not forever. It's not for like 10 seconds. But it makes it so you can't have, nothing can happen to you. You can run through all the nodes you want. You can run through all the abilities you want. And then we got Drain, which what Drain does is the abilities in the game. And as you can see under the characters, the pink and the green characters, the triangles, that's your power bar. That's your ability bar. It's showing you when it's going to be ready. Once it's glowing white, that means that it's ready. Power, or Drain, I mean, sorry. Drain takes all of that away from them. So they'll have it, and then now they're at 0. So they can't use it anymore. They have to wait for it again. And then you got Charge, which is pretty much the opposite of Drain. This time, what Charge does is it gives your team all their abilities. Everybody on your team instantly gets their ability charged, no matter how far away it was. It doesn't take away from your enemy, but it gives to your team. And we got Stun, which it stuns all the opponents for short. When you're stunned, you'll fall to the ground. Every time you fall to the ground. And it stuns them for a very short time, but if someone's running away from a laser, you can use stun to stop them, and then they die to the laser still. But you can still activate nodes while you're stunned, so you won't stop them from activating a node if the node's running towards them. But if they're being chased by one of your team's lasers, if you stun them, then after that, they'll be on the ground and they won't be able to move. There's nothing that can stop them from being stunned. You can't, unless you have a shield on, then you can't not be stunned. So stun is really good for like either using your ability to kill someone or using a node to kill someone. And then you got Lockdown. This one is kind of annoying. What it does is all the walls are locked off. But only for the enemy team. You can still run through them because you're a color node. But for the enemy team, it's locked off completely. They cannot touch the walls or else they will die. So it makes it so they can't move around as much. They lose movement as soon as you activate this. And then we got Escalate, which it spawns. All it does is it'll spawn extra lasers that are in your team's colors. As you can see on the right, it's one of the best lasers because it covers like the whole map and it spins. So that's one of the best lasers you can have. So this ability is honestly really good because now not only do you have a laser that reaches across the whole map and spins, you're cutting the players off because as you can see here, they can only teleport to go over. Then we got Expand, which it expands all of the lasers. It makes the width of them, it makes them all bigger. It's not just your team, it's everybody's, every laser. So if someone's on like the edge of your laser and they're running away from it, they're running on the side of it. If you activate that, then they'll run into the wall and die. So I think Expands, I wouldn't say it's the best one because it's kind of situational and it can also mess up you, but I think it's okay. It's not bad. And I'm gonna show you how the walls work in this game. Alright. So pretty much what the walls do in this game, they're like teleporters, pretty much. As soon as you touch a wall, you go to the opposite wall, but at your exact location. I'll show you right now. Okay, so as you see, I'm on the top wall, and then I teleport to the bottom wall. Bam. It's easy as that. So, honestly, the walls are some of the best movement in the game. They work really well with a bunch of characters, and you should use these walls to your advantage. Also, not only can the wall teleport you to the side, if you jump in the corner like this, then they teleport you over to the corner, to the opposite corner, like I just did. So, you can go diagonally from the corners, or you can go directly to the side. So walls are honestly a great source of movement that you can have. And now I'm going to show you all the different classes. Alright, so there are 6 different classes, and each team has the exact same classes. There's no difference to them. They're all exactly the same classes. There's, like, green team doesn't have an advantage because they have a different class or something. Alright, so Smash. What Smash does is they, as soon as you get your thing, your ability, the way that Smash works is as soon as you press your ability button, which is any of the bumpers, L1, R1, R2, and L2, as soon as you press any of those, they dash forward with their shield, and if they hit an enemy, then that enemy goes flying back, and they get stunned, as you can see on the right. So you can kill them with a node or with your teammate. And or you could also capture nodes from them. When you hit them, if they hit a wall, they will go through the wall and teleport. So it's not like they bash against the wall and then they just stand there. They will go through the wall and teleport. So pretty much Bash is a really good harasser. They can harass the enemy team a ton because not only is their ability really good, it charges pretty fast for abilities. It charges actually one of the fastest in the game, I'm pretty sure. So Smash actually really works well with your teammates that can kill people, or your teammates that can take objectives and stuff like that. So I think it works. That Smash is really good. Also, it doesn't matter where the enemy is, it won't auto lock for you. It smashes directly in front of you. There's not gonna be an enemy behind you, and then you press your ability button. It won't turn around and smash into it for you. You have to be aiming at them. And then we got Ghost, which Ghost is pretty much the healer of the team, because he has, or they, Ghost has some extremely good abilities to dodge. Pretty much, Smash could move away, right? They could bash away from the enemy. But Ghost, his ability is invulnerability, which pretty much it's a shield, but better, because how long it lasts, how fast it charges, and how often you get it. You can run through the enemy team's lasers. You can, you could, completely dodge a bash. You could dodge a shock, which stuns you, and you could dodge a dash, like they just did. You're completely invulnerable. Nothing can touch you. You can still teleport through walls, and you can still revive teammates, which is why they're one of the best medics. So, Ghost is pretty much just the medic of the team, because he's really hard to kill, and he can get around places easily. And then we got Thief, which Thief if I had to rate everybody, I'd say he's probably at least like second, like second or first, at least, because what he does is he steals nodes. He steals the node, and it becomes your laser, not the enemy's laser, like you can see on the right. So what happens is you have to be in the node, though. You cannot just randomly be on the laser and then get the laser. You have to be on the middle node, the white part that captured it. As you can see, he has to run to the middle where the node is to be able to get that. He can't capture it just by tapping the laser anywhere he wants. He has to be in the node. Pretty much what he's really good for is if there's a bunch of nodes on the enemy team and you need to go and clear a path for someone so your smash can bash them into one of your lasers, or someone can kill them. They can get rid of that laser and make a path for your team, which is really good because now instead of that laser, I forgot what the ability was called, but the one that has a really long laser and spins like that one that we just saw, now you could capture that, and now it's yours, and you have control over the whole map pretty much, which I think that's really good. And then we have Snipe. Don't pick Snipe as a beginner. Don't do it. I guarantee you it's not going to work well for you. Snipe's ability, you place down a marker, and then there's a line behind you. The marker is timed, so it won't last forever. You can't just forever use it and then, expect it to just be there. So you can, whenever you see an enemy, you can just kill them. And then that line that runs behind you, you teleport back to it as soon as you press the ability button again. You place the marker the first time, and the second time you teleport back to it. You can teleport through nodes. You can teleport all the way across the map if you needed to, and you can teleport through the enemy's lasers. So if there is an enemy in the line, anywhere in the line, and you press the ability button again and you teleport back, that enemy's dead. There could be 3 enemies in the line. If they all get hit, then they're all dead. So Snipe's really good if you can use him properly, because especially with the movement in the walls, and like shown on the screen with a shock or a bash. So pretty much, honestly, Ghost is but it's a team. It's pretty much really good with team, and it doesn't work well if you're a beginner, because you have to learn to play the game first. You have to learn how to play Snipe. You can't just jump in and be like, oh yep, I'm really good at the game now, because you need to learn the walls, you need to learn the nodes, you need to learn all of that. And then you got Shock. Once again, for a beginner, definitely, but even I guarantee you that really good players use him, because he's really good. What happens is when you press your ability button, an electricity field forms around him, and once that happens, he stuns anybody in the thing. I don't know why that took so long for me to realize or remember, but what happens is he stuns everybody. If a smash comes towards him, as you've seen just a few seconds ago, even if he's still bashing, they will be stunned. Now, Blade, I'm not exactly sure how that one works out, because Blade's, he's pretty much the same as a bash. He goes forward, but I think it works exactly the same. If you go anywhere within that, and you don't have invulnerability on, sorry for my bad pronunciation. I don't know why I just can't say that, but if you go anywhere in there, you're instantly stunned. You can use it for them to fall into a node. You could use it for them to just be stationary for your snipe, or maybe your smash to smash them into a node, or maybe your blade. So I think he's definitely really good, and definitely for beginners, because his thing's easy to use, but still extremely good, and he's still really fun. And then we got Blade. Blade is an assassin, pretty much. What Blade is, his ability works the same way as Smash. It launches you forward, and if you hit an enemy, then something happens to them. Except this time, instead of stunning them and knocking them backwards, with Blade, you instantly kill them. As soon as your blade touches them, they're instantly dead. So Blade, he's like if I had to rate him, I'd say he's a medium, only because you have to really aim with the blade. Otherwise, I'd completely put him as beginner, because I mean, there's nothing like extremely complicated. But he's definitely a medium because the aiming part. So Blade, pretty much you can like go behind a node, or if an enemy's trying to get a node, you could get them. You could kill them before they get that node. Or if they're trying to get a teammate, you can kill them before they get that teammate. So I think he's really good for taking out people that are like necessities. Like Ghost, if he just used his ability, and he doesn't have it now, since he's the medic of the team, you could easily kill the Ghost now. Even if he does have it, he has to time it. So when you come close to him, he could try and use it, but you could also bait it out. So I think that he works really well as an assassin. So I'm gonna go back to the beginning and rate everybody from easy, beginner, to like hard. Smash is a medium, but only because you have to aim and you have to hit them into a node pretty much, or hit them away from a node. So I think it takes a lot of like actual game knowledge or something. Like instead of just like randomly pressing it and then getting, easy kills or something. It's not like really like that. You have to actually play him right. You have to play him correctly into the game. You have to play him into the enemy team. You have to harass them. You have to be in their faces, which they could activate a node on you or something, or they could activate a switch. So I think he'd be like a medium, but like one of the tougher mediums. I guess, yeah, he'd probably be me. And then we got Ghost. I think I'll put him at easy, because what Ghost does is he goes through stuff. He's invincible. So I think that's an easy, because all you have to do is press one simple button, and then now you're invincible. Now timing it to dodge the blade or the smash or the shock or the snipe, that requires skill, but that's not always going to happen. That's not always going to be like a reactive thing. You can try and guess, but I mean, that's probably the best you can do. So I think I'd put him at easy, because he can go invincible for a few seconds, and I just think that he's pretty easy, because all he really does is get nodes and revive teammates, so they can get more nodes and kill people. So I think I'd rate him as easy. Then we got Thief. I'm gonna put him as easy also, because what he does is he runs into the node and then he presses the button to steal it. I still think he's really good, and so is Ghost, but he's just one of the easier ones to use. He's just pretty simple, honestly, which I think is pretty good, since he doesn't require too much skill for people to be able to use them. So I'm rating Thief at easy, because he really just steals nodes. And then we got Snipe. He is definitely hard. He is the hardest character in the game, I can guarantee you that, because you have to learn how to time it, because it doesn't instantly teleport you back as soon as you press the button. There's a little bit of delay between it, so you have to time it pretty well. And you have to learn to use the walls to your advantage. So I'd definitely rate him as hard, because you need to learn the game a little bit at least. Then we got Shock. Shock, I'm also putting at an easy, because all you really gotta do is go next to an enemy and press R1, or they can go right next to you, just like it's happening on the right. They try to bash him, he stuns, and now they're stunned. Which is honestly really an amazing ability, but I'm rating them at easy because it's not like you have to aim or anything, you have to get in their area. And then we got Blade. I'm rating Blade medium because you have to learn to aim your blade, you have to learn to get the nodes, you have to learn when to attack someone, because if you attack someone and you end up hitting one of their nodes, you're dead. So you can't really, you can't just press the button and be like, oh well, I might get, I might get someone, I might not though. Chances are I won't, or chances are I will. You can't really just do that. You gotta learn to aim and learn when to use him. Learn when to use the ability instead of just being like, oh, there's an enemy, alright, I'm gonna use it. Now you died to the node because you weren't paying attention. And now we're on to modifiers. Pretty much all modifiers are they're like passive abilities. Yes, yeah, they're like passive abilities. There's 3 for every class. Every class gets 3 modifiers. And you can only have 1 modifier each time you're playing that character. You can't have like 2 modifiers, or just activate 2 different modifiers at one time, have 3 modifiers. That's not how it works. It's really just 1 out of 3, which I guess that's kind of easy to understand. You probably would have already got that, but yeah, you can only use 1 modifier at a time. And I'll go through all of them for you. So Smash, their first modifier is armor. When you hit an opponent, when you successfully hit an opponent, not when you just use it and you miss or something, when you hit an opponent, it gives you brief invincibility. So for a few seconds, like a second or two, you're now invincible, or maybe not even a second, it might be like half a second or something. You're now invincible. That's it. You after that you can't. You're just invincible. You can run through a node if you want. You can hit a shock if you want. You can, I don't know. I mean, I guess you can go through a snipe. It's just invincible for a few seconds. So I wouldn't rate that the best. And then we got daze. And once they're smashed, they are just down for longer. They're stunned for longer than they usually are. Which I think this one's really good because once you hit an enemy, you can hit them into a node easier because they'll be still for longer, or your teammate has a better chance of hitting them because they're stunned for longer. And then we got combo. A slow charge at first, but successful hits will increase the recharge speed. So at first, it's a really slow recharge. But then after that, the recharge speed, each time you hit someone, it keeps on going faster. So this one's honestly pretty good. Because, I mean, you just get your ability faster. The first time it'll be slow, so it'll take a while to get it. But then after you keep on hitting people, it'll be fast. It'll go faster and faster. But this one's probably for more experienced players with Smash. Because you have to hit the person to, be able to use that mod. Sorry. Alright. So, I'll rate them 1 to 3. I'll do this for all 6 of them. We got, for the first one, I'd say the best one is daze, because all you do is hit them, and then they're stunned for like at least like a second longer, which is insanely good, because now they're stunned on the ground just sitting there and they can't do anything about it unless someone at that perfect time gets shield for the whole team. That's an easy kill, as long as you have a blade or a snipe or there's a node coming at them. So I'd rate that one first. Second one, I'd say combo, because it does require skill, but it's still really good if you have that skill. Because, I mean, it's slow at first, but then you start getting that, you really start getting it faster after you start hitting people. Once you start hitting people, you keep on getting it and getting it and getting it. So it's really good, actually. but I'd rate it second because it requires more skill, and I think that being able to have them down for longer is more effective than having it more often. Because you may have it more often, but your teammates, your blade won't keep on having his more often. He won't have his more often just because you do. Your snipe won't have theirs more often just because you do. And that's not a guarantee that nodes will come all the time, so I think that having them days longer would be better. And then the third one, obviously, is armor. Armor can be good. Once you hit somebody, you can go invincible for a second. So, like we've seen on the right multiple times, you, pretty much just go invincible, and you can go through a node if they touched it, but only for a very brief second. So I think that's extremely situational, and I really don't think that'll happen. I mean, I guess it'll happen a lot, but I really don't think that it's the best compared to the other ones. And now we got Ghost. So his first modifier, Extend. His ability lasts longer per use, meaning that each time he uses it, it lasts longer. That's pretty much it. So I think this is pretty useful because when they have a ton of nodes around, you know, you need to go and get your teammate really bad, you can use your thing for longer. So then it'll be like, alright, whoa, excuse me. Well, now I can, crap. Well, now I can go through more nodes than I used to be able to. So if there's like okay, well not 6, but there's like 4 nodes in front of me, I wouldn't be able to go through them without this, but now I can go through it because it lasts longer. And then his second modifier is Medic. Once you revive a teammate, you instantly get your ability back. And you don't even have to be using your ability to get to have this work. So let's say you could probably use this as like a type of strategy or something. You could, but Ghost charges fast anyway. But what happens is, as soon you could go and die pretty much right off the bat, and then your Ghost could come to revive you, and bam, they have their ability. It charges fast already, but now they can have their ability like 3 seconds in the game, which is really amazing because, you know, abilities don't charge at 3 seconds. So I think this is a really great one. And then we got Agile. A constant increase to movement speed. So all it does is make you faster constantly. When you're in your ghost form, when you're out of your ghost form, you're always faster. I use this one because you can steal nodes from people, because the nodes are in the same spots every time on each map. They're not going to change around and stuff. They're all in the same spot in the beginning every time. So you always spawn in a row. It's one person on the top side, one person on the bottom side, and one person on the middle side. Or not the middle side, but like in the middle, in between them. And so there's one node that always spawns right next to you guys. You guys instantly get that one. But then as Ghost, you can run over to the enemy side and get their second node that pops up. Because you'll be there by the time that they get there, meaning that you'll have a chance of stealing their node, which is really good because you might kill someone because they're going for that node. So I think Agile is pretty good. Alright, for the rankings, I'd probably say Medic's probably better. Because you can revive someone, bam, now you got your ability back. You can use it again. So I think that one's really good. I use Agile, but I think Medic's probably the best because it's not everybody likes to go and try and steal a node. It's not always that practical to go and try and steal it. So I think that Medic is more consistent. Second, I'm probably gonna have to say Extend, because what Extend does is it makes your ability usage longer. So like I said before, you can go through more nodes, or if there's a shock, then you can go through him, and then maybe there's a blade that tries to hit you after you go through the shock, but now you're still invincible for both of them. So I think that's pretty useful. And then the last one's Agile, because you can use it really well. You can go really fast and stuff. You can outrun enemies. You can steal their nodes, which I think that's good, but not everybody likes to do that. Not everybody really. Most people would really prefer to just be able to go invincible more often or for longer. Because I mean, you can use your walls to go across the map in half a second. So agile is not. I don't think it's the best out of Ghost, but I think it's still really good. And now, Thief. Thief's first modifier is Extend. His AoE lasts longer. What that means, it's not like it, because that doesn't make any sense, because the node can't last longer. You can't make the node last longer. That's not a thing in this game. But Extend makes as you can see on the right, when he activates an ability, there's a circle around him. All it does is make that circle last longer. It doesn't make any. It just makes the circle last longer, so you can hit more nodes with it. And then we got Surge. The ability charges faster. That's it. It just charges faster. Which he already has a pretty good time for charging, but now it just charges faster. And then we got Heist. A much longer charge time, but the activation time is considerably longer. So you have a way slower, or not way slower, it's probably like, maybe 3 seconds, 3 to 4 seconds. You have a slower charge time, but when you activate it, it lasts longer. The activation time lasts longer, and I think that's kinda good, but I don't really prefer that. Alright, for the rankings, I'm gonna say that Surge is the best, because you have that ability up constantly, because the enemy takes a node. Well, now that's your node. You can, there's a bunch of nodes that are around you. Now you can take those nodes and you're not in danger anymore. And then I'm gonna say Extend, because now you're AoE less longer, so you can hit more nodes with one ability. So I think that's pretty good, because you can hit one node and then run across and hit like another node from, like, I don't know, probably like a few feet away, when usually you wouldn't be able to do that. So you could save, like, maybe get out of a corner and then maybe save your teammate because of that. And then I'm put Heist for last, because the charge time is it makes it way longer. Like, I think that the charge time is pretty long, honestly. It's pretty insane. Especially for the ability's really good, but I think that the Surge is just way better. In Heist, there's really no point in that. You might as well just use Surge or Extend. And now we got Snipe. Range tele. Oh wait. All right. His range teleport attack. Once you use it, you gain invincibility. It's really short, just like with smashes. It's really short, and after that, you really just go back and you're invincible for a really short time. So, I guess you could use it if your snipe is on a node, but then you have 2 people in your crosshairs, and then you can get out of that node, and you killed 2 people while you're also, out of the node. So I think that's pretty decent. And then his second modifier is Reflex, which eliminating an opponent, so killing an opponent. Excuse me. So killing an opponent instantly recharges your ability. You have that ability right away. Bam, now you have it back. And then you can use it again. Bam, you can kill another person, you have it back. And then you can, it's pretty good, actually, especially when paired with Smash and Shock, because they can knock someone down, bam, you use your ability, and then you already have your ability again, and then maybe you could zone off that area that you just killed, where you just killed somebody. So if an enemy tries to revive them, you could kill that enemy before they get revived. So I think that's pretty good. And then we got Nitro. When the marker's dropped, their player's movement is increased. The speed is, which it makes it easier for you to pass an opponent. So let's say there's a thief, and you put down your marker. You can run past him if there are no nodes around, you can run past him, and then bam, you can use snipe now because you're faster than him. So I think that's pretty good. For the rankings, I'm gonna say reflex is the best because you can have your ability up pretty much constantly, which I think is really good because that equals more kills or more zoning, which zoning and kills are really good. So, and then for second one, I'm probably gonna say nitro because nitro, it makes you faster, and most enemies don't have that. Most enemies, some do. Some, like Ghost, he has constant speed, so chances are you're not going to catch him. And chances are, even if you did, he just ghosted away. So, there's like that, and there's Shock, which he can go faster. But, for the people who don't, Smash and Blade and Thief, and maybe the other Snipe on the enemy team, you could easily just catch up to them, and then bam, they're dead. That's already one down. And if you're in 2v2, then that means that there's only one enemy left. Which 3v3, it's still 2v3, which I think is still really good. Because this game's pretty much all about strategy and stuff like that. So I think that's really good. And then for third, I'm going to say guard. Because just like with Smash, it's only for a very brief moment. It doesn't last very long. It's only for a brief moment. It's very situational. Because, I mean, sure, maybe if you can teleport out and then you can get out of a node, but I mean, you probably shouldn't teleport if there's a node there anyway, unless you're stuck and you have to teleport. But I mean, I just don't think that has nearly as much use as his other two modifiers. Then we got Shock. His first modifier, Extend. His AoE lasts longer. This is the exact same thing. There's nothing different. This is the exact same thing as Thief's. His AoE around him, that little bubble around him, the shock bubble, it lasts longer. It lasts for a longer duration. It lasts for like maybe a second longer, I think. So that's honestly pretty good because you can shock more people. Then we have Daze, his second modifier. There's a longer stun period. So all it does is they're stunned on the ground for longer, just like Smash. They're stunned. Smash and Shock are very similar, and if you use them both and then a killer, it's also very good because you can have two stuns and then kill them because they can't move. Maybe you could stun them once, and if your killer's not close enough, then you can bash them and stun them again, and you could have Daze on both of them, so now they're stunned for even longer than they usually be, and then the blade comes up and kills them. So I think that's really good. So it stuns them for a longer period, but really you'd need a team for that. And then you have Nitro. While using your ability, your movement speed increased, just like with Snipe. So you can pretty much just make yourself faster to catch up with an enemy, which is pretty useful, honestly, because you can go around the map pretty fast with that. Even if you're not attacking an enemy, you could use that to get away from a node or something, or to get away from an enemy, which I don't get why you do that. If you have your ability up, you could just shock them and then run. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. So for rating, I'm gonna say Daze is the best because, as I've said before, stuns are really good in this game. They're really powerful, and making the stun last longer is just extremely good. And then I'm gonna say Extend because with that you can stun multiple people way easier. So let's say that, or actually no, I'm gonna put the modifier Nitro a second, because catching up to an enemy is really important because, I mean, you need to kill them, or stun them, I mean, sorry. But you need to stun them with your shock. So once you activate shock, you can instantly catch up to them instead of Extend, which if they're faster than you won't catch up to them just because your shock is long. Your shock lasts longer. So I think that Nitro would be second. And then Extend would be last. It's still really good, but just compared to the others, I just don't think that it can really compare that well. Because Nitro makes you faster, and Extend just makes it last longer, which if they're running away from you, you're not going to catch them just because it's longer, unless they have to like turn around or something. But Nitro makes you faster and easy chasing. So I think that's really good. And then we got Blade, the final one. The modifier, the first modifier, Hunter. The ability charges faster. And that's really it. It charges faster straight off the bat. And then once you use it, it still charges fast. So that's pretty good, honestly, because now you have your ability more often. And then second one is Reflex. As soon as you kill someone, as soon as you do it, you'll get your ability back instantly. And then you can use it again. So really, if there was like 3 people right next to each other, like you can see my right now, you could slash them, and slash the other one, and then slash the other one. But of course, you have to aim at them, and then you could wipe the whole team, and then that'd win the round. So that one's also extremely good. And then we got range, which what it does is increases the attack distance, so you can go further while using the ability. For the rankings, well, this one's kind of different, because if you're good with Blade, Reflex, because that's obviously number one, because you could have that thing up constantly. Bam, I slash one and another one, and now 2 are dead. But if you are like mediocre or below with Blade, then Hunter probably, because your ability charges faster. Like you'll hit them at, like you'll hit most of your hits, but you know you'll still miss a ton, or not a ton, but you'll still miss a lot. So I think that your ability charging faster would be more helpful to you, because if you miss, then you'll still have it faster. And range is last on both of them, because I mean, range is useful if you need to catch a node or something, or they're just barely out of your normal range. But I don't really see that going as well as the other ones. And then that's all for the modifiers. And then we got 2v2s and 3v3s. They're online matches, or you can play local matches, or you can play with your friends and stuff like that. And basically, you can have a squad up to 3. You could do doubles, which they're the exact same games. You have the same nodes, you have the same abilities, you have the same characters, same power-ups, you have the same everything. All that's different is that there's one less character in doubles than standard. So honestly, that's pretty much it. There you still have the bounce walls, you have the nodes, you have everything the same. And then we got the maps. So there are different teams. For London, you have Neon, and I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not sure if that's, I don't know. I'll just look it up later. And then for Megaplex, we have Orchid and Lotus. And then we got Sparks and Nitros, Cobras and Falcons, Orcas and Rays, Bosa and Samba. And everyone is a different map. Everyone has their own maps. So you got the Gauntlet, you got 9 Club, Spin Cycle, Arrowhead, Rap Game. And then we got Crusher. We got a bunch of different ones. And basically, the difference between one map to the other is their nodes. Their nodes are different. Also, there are different colors for each one. That's why they look different. You got purple, green, orange, and blue, red and blue. So it's pretty much that. But the nodes are different. The nodes move in different ways. They go opposite directions. They are placed around the map differently. That's pretty much the only difference between the maps. So that's pretty much it, honestly. They're just different, but you should learn them. You should look at a map. Once you go into a game, you should look at the map, and then you should study the map. You should study, okay, most of the nodes do this, or they do that. A lot of them spin, a lot of them move left to right, they move up and down a lot. There's these ones in the middle. You should do something like that so you could remember a lot of them. Of course, like, a lot of the maps, you know, they all pretty much have a lot of the same movements, because I mean it's just a bunch of lines pretty much going around every place. But there are a lot of different ones too. a different way they move, different way they path, stuff like that, really. And then we got kits, emojis, and patterns. Once you go into customize, you have this thing called a kit. And as you can see, I don't have any of these unlocked because I just made a new account for this. But pretty much, you have different names and stuff, different brands that you can put up, and you can have like this one. It has 26 on it, and this one has silver strip, or I think this is silver strip. But pretty much that they're only different looks. They're not. You're gonna have the same colors. You're gonna have the same everything else. It's just a different look. You have the same abilities. Nothing's different except for looks. And you can press triangle to change the color, which I think is pretty cool. So you can check out the colors that you have for everyone, which is pretty cool. And then we got emojis. So emojis, the top one, the smiley face, to in-game to do that, you'd have to press triangle. The one on your right, you'd have to press circle. The one on the bottom, X, and the one on the left, square. And to change them, you just go over them and you press X. And now you can change them, and you can change them between any emoji that you have unlocked. And then now we got lasers. Lasers have a bunch of different patterns to them. Well, not like movement patterns, but you can make the design on the lasers different. What I mean. So that's pretty much all that does. And then we got portrait, which it's just a different face, because they have like actual human faces. So, you know, it's kind of weird in my opinion, but whatever. And also it changes your character, so just the skin color, and it changes between male and female, so it won't be like, you know, this is male and then this is female. That's pretty much it. There's only slight differences. And then it also changes skin color. You see how this one is slightly darker, or not slightly, but you see how this one's darker, its neck is darker, its arms, its legs. That's pretty much the only difference between portraits. And after that, right, in the games, it's best out of 3. But not in a way where it's like you win 3 rounds, or you win 2 rounds and that's it. So, you win 3 rounds of the laser game. You kill your enemies 3 times, and then that's 1 to you. That's 1 point to you. And after that, it gives you 1 point, and then it'll go on to another round of whoever gets to 3 first. And in between those rounds, the person who lost the first one, the one who excuse me, the one who lost whatever that first round was, whoever lost that one, you now have to what's it called? Oh yeah, you now get to change your character. In the middle of the game, you can change your character, you can change their modifier. And the way that so let's say I was playing an online game, right? I can swap right here. I can swap my characters right here. And that's one way you could swap them. But that's not the only way. What you could do, before the game starts, it lets it so you can change your modifiers, you can change a character, you can change all of that before the game starts. And it lets you see your teammates too, it lets you do all that. There you can use your microphone to talk to them. It's stuff like that. So it's pretty much, once you lose, you get to change a character if you want. But you don't have to, but you have the choice. So that's pretty much it for this video. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope that you guys learn to play the game now. But that's really all. Peace.